What we'd like to do is make a discovery, become one of the next major uranium discoveries in the southwest region of the Athabasca Basin in Canada.
Okay, and to what end? Just be an explorer and then flip it, or are you going to develop and try and get this thing into production yourself?
Oh, we would love to take this program, make a discovery, continue to drill it out, advance it, and turn it into a mine. We've got a good team assembled, and that's the plan we're following right now.
Hello and welcome to Crux Investor. First of all, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like it, give us a thumbs up and do leave your comments below. It just helps us understand the sorts of questions you want us to ask these companies, how you think we're doing generally, and of course, what you think of the company. And if you haven't already done so, please click the button in the corner of the screen to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, for more videos like this, click the notification bell. We spoke earlier today to John Bay, CEO of Standard Uranium. It's the first of the new wave of uranium junior miners. This one just happens to be sitting outside the Athabasca Basin. David Riverson is their project. It's early days, just listed. They are raising some money to be able to start some work on Davidson River. They seem reasonably excited about it, but don't all management teams get excited. So not really too much to talk about other than where they seem to feel they fit in the marketplace, what their business plan is, and what they're going to be doing with the money that they raise. So take a look in the description below for some of the other topics we do cover. Anything interests you in particular, click on the timestamp and I'll take you to that part of the video. Enjoy what John has to say. Hey John, how are you doing, sir?
I am well, Matt. Doing quite well here in Vancouver today. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's been a while. I haven't seen you since the WNA September in London, where I first heard this story. Glad you are back in front of me now, because if you think you've moved things along, haven't you? Tell us about it.
Yeah, thanks. It has been a very busy time. Since we last met up in September in London, we have managed to progress our game plan, which all along was to continue to do the exploration work, prove out our geophysics, and get ready to drill the program. And en route to that was a public listing, which we just completed on May 4th. And now we are getting set to go drill our Davidson River program.
Fantastic. Okay, so I need to kind of ask you the question I ask a lot of people. So what's the plan? What are you setting out to be? What type of company are you trying to be?
Sure. So I'm going to take you back in time a couple of years and walk you through our plan from that point and get us to where we are today. So 2 years ago, we had the Davidson River project acquired and we built a company around it. The plan was to do 2 years of exploration work, geophysics, some groundwork, and identify drill program if there was actually conductors on a project. We found those. The next plan was, let's get this company public. We made that plan and we proceeded to do that. And now the next phase is to go out and raise the capital and drill this program. What we'd like to do is make a discovery, become one of the next major uranium discoveries in the southwest region of the Athabasca Basin in Canada.
Okay, and to what end? Just be an explorer and then flip it, or are you going to develop and try and get this thing into production yourself?
Oh, we would love to take this program, make a discovery, continue to drill it out, advance it, and turn it into a mine. I think that's what many companies would love to do, and we've got a good team assembled, and that's the plan we're following right now.
Okay, so for me to believe that, I need to talk to you about the asset. You're sitting just outside the Athabasca Basin. Davidson River sits just outside there. Was that all that was left, or why have you identified that particular asset?
Great question. So I get often asked that, why, if your project, the Davidson River, is so amazing, why do you have it and why has it never been touched? So this goes back in time to 2012. So prior to 2012, the southern region of Saskatchewan Athabasca Basin couldn't be explored. They had sort of a coal and oil and gas reserves right up to the southern basin of the basin there. And then a young fella by the name of Garrett Ainsworth stumbled across some radioactive boulders. And the province of Saskatchewan said, wait a minute, there could be uranium here. Let's remove those and let the juniors explore here. So that was in 2012. And Garrett turned those radioactive boulders into the RRR discovery, which was taken out by fission. At that same time, there was a change from manual staking to online staking. So there was a big staking rush in that southwest region. The individual, Jody DeRouge, who staked our project, the Davidson River project, at the time, he was actually part of the fission team. He was a director, president. He offered the Davidson River project to Fission. They had just made their RRR discovery and they were focused on that. So they said, no, thanks. Fast forward, Jody leaves Fission. He gets sued by Fission for the project back. It's tied up in court for 3 years. No work could be done on it. Court case is determined that Jody wins. Jody has the project, and we acquire from him in mid-2017. At this point, there had been no exploration work done on the project, while all around it, NextGen was making their aero discovery, Fission was advancing the RRR, Spitfire was found. So the land was hugely being explored and staked, and our project sat there, highly prospective and never been touched. And not only that, it's not just that we're beside those guys. Both the Spitfire, the Arrow, the RRR, they all sit in the same conductor called the Patterson Lake Conductor, and that runs east-west towards the Clearwater Domain, and our project is on the western side. And we have a theory that that same conductor runs right through our project. So we spent the last 2 years doing the geophysics, looking for the signatures that would show us the conductor was there, and then what's exciting about that conductor specifically and why we want to drill that. So that's sort of the game plan.
Okay, so that's how you've ended up with it, but why have you gone for it? You said no one's drilled there, okay? You're a capital markets guy. So Garrett's involved with you as an, independent director. So who's the technical team that we should believe knows what they're doing here?
Sure. So our technical team are Garrett Ainsworth, who is our director and also advisor on the project, and Neil McCallum, who is our VP of exploration. Both of them have worked in the Athabasca Basin and specifically the southwest corner for 15 plus years. As I mentioned, Garrett was instrumental in both the RRR discovery, and then he went and worked with NextGen, was instrumental in the Arrow discovery. Not only has he been involved in helping advance those, he has firsthand knowledge of exactly what all their geophysics looks like. So he knew what to look for with our geophysics, which is fantastic. So when we got our geophysics results back, he and Neil were ecstatic. So those two guys have got specific uranium, specific rock type formations on our project that they're really excited about.
Okay, so tell me a bit more, because this is very, very early stage. People need to know what they're walking into. It's highly prospective. I get that, but we get that a lot. So what did Garrett particularly get excited about? How much data is there?
Yeah, okay. So let me take you back to sort of the theory our geologists have, and it's a similar theory that many geologists have in this region. It's called the Clearwater Domain Mirror Theory. Now, the Clearwater Domain is an intrusion that came up and separated the Tolston Domain, and that is the source of the fluids, the heat, and potentially the uranium that is dropped out on the eastern side of the Clearwater Domain, and that is where you find the RRR, the Arrow, and the Spitfire project. Our theory was that same conductor runs east-west and runs through our project, and that conductor is going to have fluids and uranium in that as well. So what we wanted to do, first of all, was prove that there were conductors on our project. So that's when we did the VTEM study in 2018. The VTEM work was done, flown, and it identified 26 conductors on our project. Of those, there are 3 major, highly excitable conductors, and I'll tell you a bit more about that. In 2019, we did the ZTEM to get a more in-depth look at those conductors, the ones that we really liked. And then we also did some linear magnetics. We were looking for cross-cutting structures. We were looking for breaks and offsets on the conductor. If the conductors are just sort of straight and they go along, the fluids run right through them. But if they have sort of breaks and offsets and wrenching, that's where the fluids can drop out and leave a uranium deposit. So we started to identify all those things through different studies. And we have a slide in our presentation which really highlights exactly how we came about that. And it has given us this one area about 2 kilometers in strike length, which we are going to start drilling this summer. And all those vectors point to this one specific area. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, so you know a little bit about it. You're not walking into moose pasture, I think is the phrase they use in Canada. There's a degree of confidence from your boys on this, but I saw the announcement about the go public. I've not seen an announcement about how you're financing this.
Well, that's excellent. We haven't made one just yet, but that's going to happen immediately. I will announce with you and your audience today that, we have just signed an engagement letter with Red Cloud and 8 Capital. We are going to do a $3 million capital raise, and that $3 million will be a combination of hard dollars and flow-through dollars. And we're going to spend $2 million of that drilling the Davidson River project, and that is gearing up to happen sort of mid-July. So that's a pretty exciting announcement. We look forward to closing that financing and getting some more investors to join our team and get some more liquidity.
Okay, good news. 2 good companies, Red Cloud, 8 Capital. So let's talk about that. You talked about putting 2 of that $3 million in the ground. You've obviously got a bunch of overhead. You've got a bunch of names on here. G&A, what's that look like? How are you remunerating yourself? How's that work?
Well, our team is, we are very low on the remuneration side. So let's just say our burn rate monthly is less than $25K for our team. I mean, our CFO is part-time. Our VP of exploration is a consultant. He works for other companies as well. Garrett's a director, so he's not compensated outside of options. So, and myself, I spent all of 2019 taking basically a salary of almost next to nothing just to cover costs and expenses and cover my office, and chose to have my remuneration come in the shares of equity, which I hope to see come through soon.
Okay, good. Well, I guess as you shared, it's an early stage exploration company. It's high risk, but high reward, hopefully, for you guys. Well, look, and this $2 million is going to. I assume when are you hoping to close this? First of all, let's start with that.
Ideally, it would be closed by the end of June, so we can get drilling in July.
Okay, as quickly as that. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
And is that's all in place, or that's easy to get a hold of, and you think you could genuinely get drilling in July?
The schedule is all lined up to go ahead in that. The only sort of X factor is COVID-19. So you may be aware that in northern Saskatchewan, there has been some COVID-19 outbreaks. The town that is about 3 hours south of us is La Loche. They've been sort of an epicenter. They had about 250 cases. They're now down to, I believe it is less than 40 as of this last couple of days. So we see the trend is going downward. So we are looking forward to those numbers getting very low and going into the province of Saskatchewan and doing our exploration work.
Yeah, we had heard, because I think Cameco are based down there, aren't they? So good news. Good news. Okay, John, look, thanks for the update. I know it's early days, there's not too much to say, but obviously I'm pleased to hear about the fundraise. Good luck with that. And more importantly, let us know when you start getting some results. It's the next
That is great.
The next exciting uranium story in the marketplace. Do you think it's going to be the first of many? Do you think people are going to be rushing into the space again?
Yeah, you know what? I think the uranium space is starting to really heat up. We're getting all kinds of inbound calls from people who are more generalists that haven't been in the space in the last couple of years. The past 2 years, it was, if you weren't a uranium bull and were really looking at where things were going in the future, you wouldn't talk to us. We couldn't get brokers and bankers and fund managers outside of uranium specific ones to get excited about uranium until just in the start of March. So that is great to see, and I'm starting to see the general retail audience get involved too and sort of follow along. I know through Twitter and through our friends there, their numbers are spiking. People with interest in uranium, which is fantastic.
It is. I guess the bit I was getting to, you're the first of the new wave, as it were. But do you think there's going to be a lot of people coming in behind you? Have lessons been learned?
Yes, so I think you're probably well aware. So we go back in time to 2006, and there were it went from very few to 500 uranium companies in that very short period. I think right now at the start of this uranium cycle, we've probably got, realistically, probably less than 50 uranium companies. And as you can probably imagine, there's going to be a lot of companies that are switching from whatever it's cannabis or tech or something to become uranium companies pretty quick. As soon as this really starts to move, I anticipate that. And one of the things that many juniors like ourselves are doing is we're staking other grounds. We have other claims that can be JV'd and get other people's money to work on those for us as well. So it's pretty standard.
Yeah, okay, I get that. I guess the thing that we try to warn people about is, you've got to, when you're looking at a company that's talking about uranium, they've got to be a genuine prospective uranium company, as opposed to just have it in the name tag, for sure. But
yeah, definitely.
You're in the right postcode, so that's a good start. Like I say, stay in touch. Let us know how you get on. Be delighted to catch up with you when you've got some new news.
That would be great, Matt. Thanks for taking the time to share our story and have a chat again. I look forward to telling you when we're getting our drill program going and coming back and sharing some of those results. So Thank you.